163,000 rating, of which it got 1.6, not out of 5, 1.6 out of 10.
Feminist Conor McGregor.
Who the fuck is that guy?
It's a weird walk for a weird broad, and I don't like her.
They've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now. They had her tweet out like a little, yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her. And she did it and got like millions of views, and they were like, good job, Rachel. Minutes later, followed it up with, and never forget, free Palestine.
Disney's much-awaited live-action remake of Snow White isn't just flopping at the box office, it's doing a full-on belly flop into a shallow kiddie pool filled with bad press and regret. Early estimates put the projected losses anywhere between $200 and a jaw-dropping $400 million, making it less happily ever after and more financial nightmare. I'm talking about a fiasco so epic, it makes Cats look like cinematic gold. Seriously, did Disney even read the script before approving this? Or were executives too busy counting imaginary dollars in their Scrooge McDuck vault to notice the disaster brewing? At the center of this hurricane of embarrassment is Rachel Zegler, who, let's be real, might just hold the world record for speedrunning from bright-eyed rising star to Disney's PR nightmare. To put it bluntly, Disney execs reportedly went from starry-eyed optimism to pure unadulterated fury. Sources claim executives are so mad, they're not just throwing tantrums behind boardroom doors, they're literally looking for ways to make Rachel financially accountable for the losses.
That's her thanks to Steven Spielberg, who discovered her and made her. So she's an ingrate, she's annoying, and I think she's probably two and done.
That's right, folks. Disney might actually try to make Rachel Zegler pay for their box office disaster. Now let's pause here and appreciate this moment. Imagine signing a Disney contract and ending up owing Mickey Mouse money. It's like accidentally breaking Cinderella's glass slipper and having the castle's lawyers chase you down with an invoice. Apparently it wasn't enough that Disney's internal meetings reportedly turned into group therapy sessions, with executives hysterically pointing fingers and dramatically shouting things like, "She torched a billion-dollar brand in under a year." You can practically hear them sobbing into their Mickey-shaped stress balls. Disney executives are allegedly so convinced Rachel caused irreversible damage to their brand that they even dusted off her contract, looking for morality clauses or performance triggers, basically fine-print landmines designed for exactly this kind of scenario. Nothing says magical family entertainment quite like corporate warfare, right? And let's be honest, Rachel didn't exactly help herself. From day one, her interviews felt like Disney handed her a PR script and she promptly shredded it in front of their horrified faces. She famously mocked the beloved 1937 classic, casually roasting the prince as literally stalking Snow White, and dismissively announcing this isn't about the love story like at all. Look, Rachel, we get it. Modernizing is trendy, but maybe don't publicly trash the romantic story that generations of fans grew up adoring.
I have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's one of those things.
So true,
it's
yeah.
an inner journey that she goes on to find her true self. Whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. One of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful.
Disney fans aren't exactly known for letting go easily. If you insult Walt's legacy, expect pitchforks, not pixie dust. Things got even more absurd when Rachel started demanding royalty payments per streaming hour, proudly stating, "If I'm going to stand there for 18 hours in a princess dress, I deserve to be paid every time someone hits play." Honey, that's not how contracts work. That's how passive-aggressive Christmas dinner conversations go when Aunt Janet forgets to thank you for cooking.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck? Every time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, all 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one. Cry me a river. She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
At this point, Disney reportedly had to hire a special media consultant whose sole job was basically babysitting Rachel online. You know things have gone sideways when your star actress needs a professional tweet watcher assigned to her, like a Hollywood parole officer. But Rachel's social media disasters went far beyond princess royalty jokes. Disney executives allegedly had a full-blown meltdown when she followed her cheerful, company-approved tweet, "Yay, Snow White, excited to play her," with a spontaneous political outburst, tweeting about freeing a certain country whose name starts with P. Normally, celebrities' politics is their personal business, but just so it happens, her co-star Gal Gadot is, famously part of the other side. You can almost hear Disney executives collapsing in horror. Reportedly, they even flew out a high-level producer to beg Rachel, personally and politely, to remove the tweet. Rachel's response? She refused, doubling down like someone deliberately trying to sabotage her own career. At this point, Rachel's PR game was so terrible, it could have been managed better by an intern running the official Wendy's Twitter account.
Rachel Zegler made it so hateable that you really sabotaged and took hundreds of millions of dollars from the studio. I don't know how anyone would ever want to go into business with her ever.
Now, Rachel is allegedly fighting back tears upon realizing her Disney princess fantasy has become an industry punchline. Insiders whisper say she genuinely thought this role would launch her into Hollywood stardom. Instead, she became the face of one of Disney's biggest flops, right up there with John Carter and Mars Needs Moms. Her optimistic dreams of strutting down the red carpet to Oscar glory have evaporated faster than you can say, "Not my Snow White." The catastrophic failure isn't just Rachel's fault, though. Disney execs were making bad decisions long before she arrived. Between massive budget overruns, production delays due to COVID-19, literal fires breaking out on set, and endless reshoots, it honestly felt like someone cursed this movie from the start.
You know, like how hard it is to find an attractive young woman in Hollywood who can act in sin? It's not hard. Like who just isn't going to offend half the country.
Disney tried so hard to make it woke and modern that they ended up offending everyone. Longtime fans hated the deviation from tradition, younger viewers cringed at the awkward virtue signaling, and critics mocked the disastrous CGI dwarves. And yes, you heard that correctly, they removed real dwarves in favor of CGI characters. Apparently, Peter Dinklage, who made millions playing a dwarf in Game of Thrones, decided nobody else should ever have that chance again. It's the ultimate Hollywood ladder kick, and now we have creepy computer-generated dwarves haunting our screens. Thanks, Peter. Very helpful. Social media exploded with backlash, and suddenly hashtags like Not My Snow White and Boycott Snow White trended higher than Rachel's career ambitions. Fans posted memes mocking Rachel's awkward quotes, plastering her face onto clips of the original princess with captions like, "Hi, I'm Rachel, and I hate romance and happiness." Her interviews, instead of feeling fresh and progressive, came off smug, condescending, and weirdly hostile, like someone reading aggressive feminist Tumblr posts out loud at a family reunion. To make matters worse, people started digging into Rachel's past tweets, where she'd attacked the president's supporters with phrases like, "They'll never know peace." That's exactly the wholesome, inclusive brand messaging Disney executives dream about, right? Rachel managed to alienate Disney's famously broad audience with just a few inflammatory tweets, turning what should have been a nostalgic, heartwarming blockbuster into a political battleground. Now Disney is stuck picking up the billion-dollar pieces, scrambling desperately to figure out how they got here. Industry experts are baffled, questioning how a company known for meticulously controlling its brand image could fumble so spectacularly. The answer, many are suggesting, hiring an inexperienced actress who turned out to be a PR grenade waiting to explode.
Yes, it's all Rachel Zegler and her behavior. But it was comment after comment, and it was pissing off everybody, pissing off old Disney fans, pissing off new Disney fans. And it became such a disaster that they had to shut her up, which was the smartest move they made. Quite frankly, if she had said nothing, her movie, probably still forgettable, would have done a lot better.
Between the battle between her and Gal Gadot, right, is that
I think you could tell that from their body language when they were presenting an Oscar together. They just could not have disliked each other more. So yeah, it's just another nail in the coffin of this movie, unfortunately.
Rachel's casual disdain for classic storytelling, combined with a tone-deaf approach to interviews, destroyed the goodwill that Disney spent decades building. Instead of careful modernization, audiences got cynical mocking. Imagine remaking The Little Mermaid, but Ariel openly despises the ocean and hates fish. Doesn't quite land, does it? Disney's mega flop has executives seriously reconsidering their entire live-action strategy. They now have to face harsh realities about prioritizing messaging over storytelling, casting based on buzz over talent, and underestimating audience nostalgia. What started as a simple fairy tale remake has spiraled into a corporate nightmare, leaving executives wondering how the heck they misread audiences so badly. Rachel's missteps became symbolic of an entire generation's social media overconfidence, a cautionary tale about posting first and thinking never. Behind the scenes, Disney's suits reportedly scrambled faster than mice running from Cinderella's evil stepmother. Emergency PR meetings were held, probably with executives pacing the halls muttering things like, "This is why we don't let stars tweet unsupervised." They trotted Rachel out to issue a strategically timed apology, clearly straight from the mouse's "Oops, we did it again" handbook. But the fans weren't buying it. Instead of smoothing things over, the apology read about as genuine as your ex's late-night "you up" texts.
She thinks she should get paid more because she has to wear that dress. She should get paid for streaming for every hour she has to wear the dress. So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat, and that's why people are so annoyed, beyond just them inserting feminism. She's gone on to talk about this film numerous times, how she once thought Snow White was creepy, she doesn't like the prince. I think we expect that at this point, but why do you have to mess with a classic, especially with someone who doesn't even seem to like her own character?
Critics dissected every word online, gleefully pointing out what Rachel conveniently skipped over, like sincerity or actual regret. It was basically the Hollywood equivalent of your little sibling saying sorry while rolling their eyes. Unsurprisingly, audiences weren't impressed. Rather than bridging the gap, the apology deepened the divide. Even hardcore Disney fans were saying things like, "We asked for nostalgia and she served us side-eye instead." Disney was so traumatized, insiders say they dialed back red carpet events, fearing Rachel might spontaneously combust into another off-script rant. The premiere became more like a funeral procession than a Hollywood gala, complete with executives nervously whispering, "Did she tweet again?" Then the opening weekend happened, and boy was it brutal. The movie pulled a paltry $43 million domestically, basically pocket change compared to Disney's usual box office hauls. Internationally, things weren't better, coming in at just around $87 million. That sounds decent until you realize Disney probably spent that much just on Rachel's Twitter babysitters. With an investment rumored around $250 million, this film didn't just flop, it belly flopped into an empty swimming pool. Hollywood analysts, who initially nodded along with Disney's optimistic projections, quickly recalculated their numbers in panic mode. It wasn't just a failure, it was a historic catastrophe. Even Disney's infamous flops like Dumbo looked like Oscar-worthy masterpieces next to this disaster. Perhaps worst of all, the film lacked any redeeming viral moment. No funny TikToks, no quotable scenes, just crickets. Rachel's once promising career was now just memes of her sarcastically trashing the prince and dismissing traditional romance, plastered all over the internet with captions like "Snow White and the 7 PR disasters." The blame game exploded behind closed doors, with industry whispers growing louder. Rachel Zegler had officially become box office kryptonite. Rumors swirled that Disney execs were considering cutting ties entirely, maybe even legally demanding she pay back some of that Mickey money. Yikes. Being sued by Disney? That's like getting disinvited from the royal wedding. Embarrassing, public, and painfully permanent. Now, Hollywood producers allegedly see Rachel's name and think of a radioactive meltdown. You know it's bad when even your dwarves won't publicly support you. Martin Kleba, poor Grumpy, hinted in interviews that the film's controversy stole their spotlight, leaving the cast as gloomy as, well, Grumpy himself. See you on the next one.